Okay, I have to start this right away because I found out something this week, and I honestly I cannot stop thinking about it. It has completely changed how I look at my own apartment building. It is actually keeping me up at night.
Wow. Okay. That is a very big buildup. Are you questioning your reality right now? Like, are we living in a simulation?
I really am. I mean, I'm questioning everything, my neighbors, the walls, the physics of sound, just everything is suspect right now.
Well, we are definitely going to unpack that psychological crisis in a second. But first, let's introduce ourselves properly for anyone new joining us. Hey, everyone. I'm Johnny.
And I'm Sophie.
And this is just Johnny and Sophie.
Real people, real stories.
Real English.
Every single day, something happens to someone we know.
And we just talk about it.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are doing one of my absolute favorite formats. It is a This Week I Learned deep dive.
Yes, I love these. It is basically just us sharing things we stumble across recently, like articles, videos, maybe random conversations that genuinely surprised us.
Exactly. There's no scripts, no big formal lectures, just the weird, fascinating, and sometimes slightly embarrassing facts that make you stop and say, wait, really?
The energy today is really just two friends catching up on the strange corners of the internet and real life, honestly, that we have wandered into. It's about that joy of finding something out that you probably should have known, but just didn't.
And trust me, I have wandered into some very strange corners this week.
I can tell. I mean, you jumped right in at the beginning with this existential crisis. You said you are questioning everything about your building.
I am. Okay, so for context,
Yeah.
I have lived in my building for 2 years, right?
2 years, yeah. I definitely remember helping you move that incredibly heavy sofa up the stairs. My back completely remembers it too.
Don't remind me. But the point is, I feel like I know the place pretty well. Like I know the rhythm of the building. I know exactly which step creaks on the third floor. I know when the mail comes. I know the sounds of the place.
Right. You are observant. You notice things.
I thought I was. I genuinely prided myself on it. But this week, I made a discovery that just shattered my confidence. I discovered that my next-door neighbor has a dog.
Okay. That is, I mean, people get dogs. That is not exactly a massive government
Wait,
conspiracy.
you have to listen. This isn't a new puppy. They didn't just adopt it yesterday. I spoke to them in the hallway. They have had this dog the whole time.
Wait, the whole 2 years?
The entire time. And it is not a Chihuahua either. It is not a cat that thinks it is a dog. It is a large, hairy, substantial animal, like a golden retriever mix.
Hang on. You have lived there for 2 years sharing a literal wall with these people, and they have a massive dog and you didn't know.
Never seen it. Never heard it once. Not a single bark. Not a whimper. Nothing.
That shouldn't actually be possible.
Right.
Dogs bark.
Yeah.
They scratch the floor. They have those jingly collars.
That is exactly what I am saying. 2 years of complete and utter silence from this beast. How is that physically possible? Because I hear everything in that hallway. I hear people dropping keys. I hear groceries rustling around. I hear when someone gets a package delivered. But a giant dog, absolute silence.
That is actually really unnerving. Is the dog okay?
It looks completely happy. I saw them walking it, finally, which is how I found out. It was wagging its tail, looking completely normal. But inside the apartment, it must be a ninja.
A ninja dog, operating entirely in stealth mode.
It is the only logical explanation, but it really made me spiral. I'm walking through the halls now, looking at every door like, what are you hiding? If I missed a giant dog, what else am I missing? Maybe the guy in 4B is running a printing press? Maybe 5C is a secret botanical garden?
Or maybe you just have really, really good soundproofing and you have been complaining about the noise for absolutely nothing.
I refuse to accept that. I firmly believe it is a magic dog. But it is unsettling to realize how little we actually know about the people and animals literally sleeping 10 feet away from us.
That is a fair point. It is a little spooky when you think about it. It makes you wonder what else is happening right under your nose. But you said that wasn't the only thing that shook your world this week.
Oh, there's always more.
Hmm.
This next one happened inside my own apartment. I was deep cleaning the kitchen, procrastinating on actual work, obviously, and I was digging into the very back of the cupboards. You know the dark zone where spices go to die?
Oh, yeah. The graveyard of culinary ambitions. I know it well. I think I had some paprika from 2015 back there.
Exactly. And deep in the back, I found this jar of honey.
The classic forgotten honey jar. Let me guess, it was totally crystallized.
Rock hard. It literally looked like amber. I have absolutely no memory of buying it. It could have been there since I moved in. It could be from a previous tenant. It could be an heirloom passed down through generations.
Right, so logically you just threw it out.
Well, I almost did. It looked ancient. But then I thought, let me just check. Because honey is basically just sugar, right? So I looked it up, and it turns out honey basically never expires.
Wait, never, like never ever, even if it is open.
If it is sealed properly, never. I found this fact that actually blew my mind. Archaeologists have found pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs.
In the tombs, like buried with the mummies.
Yes, buried with the pharaohs. Honey that is 3,000 years old. And do you know what?
Don't tell me.
It is still edible.
No way.
Yes, scientists have actually tasted it.
You are telling me you could eat 3,000-year-old tomb honey. That sounds like the start of a horror movie where you unleash an ancient curse. Like return the slab, but with honey.
Apparently, it is totally safe. It has to do with the chemical composition. It is really fascinating, actually. Honey has a very low moisture content. It is hygroscopic, which means it actually draws moisture out of the air, but in a sealed jar, bacteria literally cannot survive in it. They just dry out and die.
So it's just a bacterial death trap.
Exactly. Plus, it is slightly acidic. It is the perfect natural preservative. It is basically immortal food.
That is incredible efficiency by nature. We spend so much money on preservatives and freezers, and bees just figured it out millions of years ago.
Right. So obviously, once I read that, I realized my cupboard honey, which was maybe 5 years old, not 3,000, was perfectly fine.
So wait, did you eat it?
I did. I put the jar in some warm water to melt the crystals, and I made toast.
And
How was it?
it was fine. It was delicious. Maybe a little complex.
I am finding this incredibly difficult to process. I mean, I believe the science, but the idea of eating something that could outlast a civilization, it is intense.
It is, but it felt very connecting. I really felt connected to history eating that toast. Connected to the pharaohs via my breakfast.
Connected to the pharaohs. I love that. I guess if the apocalypse happens, we are just eating honey and cockroaches.
Pretty much, that is the survival plan.
Well, I'm glad you survived your ancient breakfast.
Me too. Okay, I have one more discovery for my week. And this one requires participation. I need you to do something.
Oh, no. I don't like where this is going at all. Usually when you ask me to participate, I end up looking foolish. It is harmless, I promise. I saw this video online and I thought, that cannot be true. This is fake internet science. But it is true.
Okay, what is it?
You cannot hum while your nose is closed.
No, of course you can. Humming happens in the throat. It is vocal cords. You just hum.
Nope. You can't do it. If you pinch your nose shut completely, no sound comes out.
I completely don't believe you. I'm going to debunk this right now.
Try it.
Yeah.
Pinch your nose tight and try to hum a tune. Just try to hum Happy Birthday.
Okay, I'm pinching my nose right now. Wait, let me try again. I literally can't do it. The sound just cuts out.
It is physically impossible.
That is so weird. It feels like the sound is stuck in my neck. It builds up pressure and then just immediately stops.
I tried it immediately when I saw the video, too. I sat in my kitchen pinching my nose for 5 minutes trying to force a sound out.
Yeah.
Then I called our friend Lily.
Oh, Lily absolutely loves this kind of stuff.
She does. She tried it, confirmed it, and she literally said she was adding it to the list. I don't know what list she keeps, but this fact is on it now.
It actually makes total sense if you think about the physics, which I am now doing.
Yeah.
Your mouth is closed when you hum, right?
Right.
So the air has to escape through your nose. Sound is just vibrating air. If you block the nose, the air has nowhere to go. It creates a back pressure, and the vocal cords can't vibrate anymore. It is a closed circuit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is such a small anatomical quirk, but I had no idea. I never would have thought to check that.
I feel like everyone listening to this deep dive right now is pinching their nose.
I really hope they are.
Yeah.
If you were on the bus listening to this, please pinch your nose.
Well, I have to say, my discoveries this week were a little less fun science and a little more painful.
Oh, no. Did you break something?
Sort of. You know, I am planning that trip next month.
Yes.
So I got my passport out, and it had a little mark on it, just a smudge on the main page, maybe some food or dirt. And being the absolute perfectionist that I am, I thought I can fix this.
Oh, no. Please tell me you didn't use chemicals.
I thought I will just give it a little clean. So I put the passport underwater.
You put your passport underwater.
Just for a second. Literally under the tap. I thought it was laminated. It feels like plastic, doesn't it? The data page feels solid.
I cannot believe you didn't know that was a bad idea.
What?
It is paper. It is official government paper. It has computer chips in it.
I learned very quickly that you should not wash a passport. The water got under the laminate instantly. It wicked right in.
Is it totally ruined? Are you grounded?
Well, it is technically still valid, I think. All the information is legible. The photo is fine. But the pages, they look really tired. It looks like the passport has been through a very difficult divorce.
Like it has had a really hard life.
Exactly. It is all crinkly and wavy. It looks highly suspicious. I am terrified the border agent is going to look at it, then look at me and ask what my passport looks like I took it swimming.
Which you actually did.
Which I did.
Lesson learned. Keep water away from vital government documents.
I feel like that is a lesson most people already knew, but I'm really glad I caught up. I just had to learn the hard way.
Well, at least you didn't destroy it completely.
Oh.
What else did you learn? Please tell me it wasn't about laundry.
No, my second discovery was actually much cooler, and it came from our friend Marcus.
Marcus always sends the most random texts.
He really does. He sent me this random fact at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Why 11 p.m.? That is peak sleeping time.
I don't know. I asked him, why are you telling me this now? But then I couldn't sleep because I kept thinking about it.
Okay, well, don't leave me hanging. What was it?
Did you know that octopuses have 3 hearts?
3.
3 hearts. One isn't enough, apparently.
I had absolutely no idea. Why do they need 3? Is it because they are so big? Or because they're basically aliens?
It is all about efficiency. So get this. They have 2 hearts called branchial hearts, and their sole job is just to pump blood through the gills to get oxygen. They are like turbochargers for oxygen. And then they have one main systemic heart that pumps that oxygenated blood to the rest of the body.
That is actually a really smart design, delegating the work.
It is. But here is the fascinating part, and this is what kept me awake. When an octopus swims, the main heart, the one that pumps blood to the body, actually stops beating.
It stops while they are actively moving.
It stops completely. It physically cannot pump while they are using their jet propulsion, which means swimming is incredibly exhausting for them because they are essentially holding their breath and stopping their heart to do it.
Oh my goodness.
That is exactly why octopuses prefer crawling along the seafloor rather than swimming. Swimming literally causes them to go into cardiac arrest for a few seconds.
Wow. That makes so much sense now. I always see them creeping around in documentaries, walking on their tentacles, and I just thought they were being sneaky or lazy.
Nope. They just don't want to pass out. It is an evolutionary trade-off. They can move fast if they have to, but it costs them everything.
I love that. I never would have thought about the mechanics of an octopus heart. Marcus really comes through with the gold.
He does. But speaking of friends texting the group chat, we have to talk about Dan. Dan sent a text to the group this week that stopped everyone in their tracks. It might actually be the best text he has ever sent.
It really was. It was haunting.
He sent one single sentence. No context, no hello, no emoji. Just did you know that the inventor of the Pringles can is buried in one?
I remember just staring at my phone. I read it 3 times. The inventor of the Pringles can is buried in one.
It is such a Dan thing to do.
Yeah.
No follow-up. Just dropping a bomb like that and vanishing into the night.
The group chat was completely silent for like 10 minutes. We were all just processing the sheer logistics of it.
And then Maya finally replied.
Yeah, she just wrote, I have so many questions.
Which is the only correct reaction. Like, how? Is it a giant custom can? Is it a regular sour cream and onion can? Was he cremated? He must have been cremated, right? You can't fit a body in a Pringles can unless you have a very gruesome approach.
And did Dan answer any of these questions?
Dan never responded.
Classic Dan. Drops the fact and walks away.
But it is true. I looked it up immediately because I frankly didn't believe it. Frederick Bauer, the organic chemist who designed the Pringles can, was so proud of that design. He thought it was a mathematical masterpiece.
To be fair, it is a great design. The chips don't break.
Exactly. He was so proud that he explicitly asked his children to bury his ashes in one.
That is some serious commitment.
It is. Real dedication to the brand. Apparently, on the way to the funeral home, his kids stopped at a Walgreens to buy the can.
No way.
Yes, and they actually argued about the flavor in the aisle.
Please tell me they didn't get pizza flavor.
They eventually decided on original. They said it was the respectful choice.
Well, that is classy. You can't go to the afterlife in a pizza-flavored can. That just feels deeply wrong.
Exactly. It is about dignity.
You know, hearing us talk about all this, we use certain phrases naturally when we talk about learning new things.
We do. It is part of that this week I learned energy. We're constantly expressing surprise.
Exactly. So I want to pause the stories for a second and look at 3 specific expressions we use today. This is did you catch that segment of the deep dive?
Let's do it. What is the first one?
The first one is, it turns out.
Ah, yes. It turns out. We definitely use that a lot today.
We use this to introduce a surprising fact or a result, something unexpected that reveals itself after you investigate. It is perfect for when you discover something that goes completely against what you originally thought.
Right. Like with your honey story, you thought it was expired. You looked it up and you said, it turns out honey never expire.
Exactly. It signals the shift from what I thought to what is actually true.
Mhm.
You could say, I thought the meeting was at 2 p.m., but it turns out it's at 3.
Or a very common one for me, it turns out I was wrong.
Yes, very useful for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
So it turns out is for that exact moment of revealed truth. What is the second one?
The second one is, I had no idea.
This is a classic.
It is. It just means you were completely unaware of something you genuinely didn't know. It emphasizes the sheer gap in your knowledge.
Like when you reacted to the octopus fact, you said, I had no idea octopuses have 3 hearts.
Right. It emphasizes that this is brand new information for me. It is much stronger than just saying, I didn't know. You could say, I had no idea she was there.
Or I had absolutely no idea. Adding absolutely makes it even stronger. It shows total surprise.
Exactly. And the third expression is a bit longer, but very common. I never would have thought.
I never would have thought. This is for when something is completely outside your imagination, right?
Yes. It is when a discovery surprises you because it never even occurred to you as a possibility. It wasn't even on your radar.
But I never would have thought honey lasts forever.
Or with the nose humming thing, I never would have thought to try that.
Or just I never would have guessed. It shows that the fact was totally unexpected and unpredictable.
So those are your 3 for today. It turns out I had no idea and I never would have thought.
Which brings us to our listener challenge.
Yes. We want to challenge you guys for the upcoming week.
Your specific task is to use the phrase, it turns out naturally in a conversation.
Just find one moment. It makes any discovery sound natural and conversational immediately.
You could be at work and say, it turns out this project is easier than I thought.
Or talking to a friend, it turns out she already knew about the party.
Just trying to slip it in there. It is a great phrase to have in your pocket. It makes you sound like a native speaker instantly.
And, of course, we want to hear from you.
We absolutely do. We want to know what you learned this week.
Head over to our Instagram, just Johnny and Sophie, and send us a message. Tell us what you learned.
It can be anything. Big, small, serious, ridiculous.
If you found out your neighbor has a secret zoo or a ninja dog, we want to know.
You found out something about Pringles or space or why we yawn. We definitely want to know.
We will read the best submissions and definitely the weirdest ones on the next.
This week I learned deep dive. So get researching, get curious, and let us know. But before we go, I want to leave you with a thought. If the inventor of the Pringles can is buried in one, and honey from 3,000 years ago is still perfectly edible, what completely normal object sitting in your house right now is going to outlast us all, and what weird story will it tell?
That is a wild thought to end on. Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys.
Catch you next time.